So not to hurry things, but let's get started. My first nominee, it goes without saying, was Benimaru. As our commander-in-chief, he had done an excellent job leading all our forces. He didn't look too happy about what Tensura and the other demons got up to, but hey, every war comes with its unforeseen developments. It certainly wasn't his fault and it definitely wasn't mine. It all worked out fine in the end, besides, and I think everyone involved did amazing. After ending her speech, Shuna called Benimaru's name. He took a step forward and kneeled down in front of me. Very good. Now, Benimaru, I am ready to grant you a reward right now. I don't even want to know what this is. You're scheming something again, aren't you? What the heck? I haven't even done anything yet, and he's on to me. This whole awakening thing was actually meant to be a surprise. I knew I'd field objections if I brought it up with certain people, so I decided to carry this out without telling any of them. We continued talking as Shuna read out all of Benimaru's glorious war achievements. Well, you know, I actually won a lot of souls in this war. I guess Tensura and her gang have been offering them to me, and it looks like I can use them to awaken those closely connected to me enough. I heard nothing about this. Hey, I'm telling you now, right? We looked each other in the eye. He totally would have turned it down, I'm sure of it. Benimaru's a lot more serious-minded than you think, and he's got a serious drive to become stronger on his own, I guess. He even seemed to have some thoughts about my own evolution to Demon Lord. I'm sure Diablo and Xion couldn't wait to snap this reward up. So what is this awakening? That was a good question. In my case, it boosted my magicule count and magic power tenfold, as well as gave blessings to all the monsters in the lineage of my own soul. I couldn't say how much he'd grow from it, but I was sure it'd be a pretty big bump. Well, to put it simply, I evolved when I became a Demon Lord, right? Think of it as kin to the same thing. You'd have a Demon Lord type evolution. What? So it'll change not only me, but all who serve me? I think so. Probably. It was unclear to me just how much of an impact it'd have, but I'd bet it'd have its effects on Teen Kurenai, at least. Oh, no, I can't accept something so important happening to me without any warning. Hold on. Okay. If you put it like that, then maybe you're right, but now's not the time to argue about it. We can't be sure how strong our enemy's going to be right now, so we gotta do everything we can to strengthen our forces, right? I'm sure you're right, but... Benimaru closed his eyes, troubled. Then he opened them again, looked at me, and heaved a long, heavy sigh. I guess he made up his mind that it gave up, but same difference. But it's not just me being awakened, is it? I think a paring down of our forces right now is dangerous, but what are your thoughts on that? There are 12 people who are qualified for this, but I'm only gonna do 9 at this time. I'm gonna leave the demons to guard things, so I decided that a few days offline won't be a big problem. I see. That and we have the labyrinth. Perhaps they could buy enough time for us, at least. That approach convinced Benimaru well enough. Next was the issue of things going out of hand on me. There's one thing bothering me still, however. What is that? Right now, you're stronger now than I was when I evolved. I don't know exactly how strong you'll get through this process. You might even wind up stronger than me, you know. If he did, I think it'd still feed back to me through the food chain feature of my ultimate skill Beelzebub. But regardless, the possibility is there. Plus, there's no way Diablo won't wind up stronger than me. I don't think Benimaru and his kin will betray me, but I can't deny the possibility that the sheer onrush of power could sweep them beyond control. I think they'll be fine, and I set up this isolation chamber around the coliseum just in case, but there is still that anxiety in my mind, yeah. So even with that concern, you still want to go ahead with our awakening? Yeah, pretty much. Well, I certainly feel loved anyway. You're pulling out all the stops to ensure no enemy could ever defeat us, isn't it? I'll do whatever it takes to live up to those expectations, then. I don't know if it'll be true for everyone, but Benimaru, at least, understood my thoughts. He was all but assuring me that he'd never let himself go berserk with power. I'm glad I can count on him. I'll trust you on that. By all means. Shuna chose that moment to end her rambling speech. It was time for the awards ceremony. Benimaru, your command in this battle was truly outstanding. From this moment forward, you may style yourself as the Flare Lord. Yes, my lord. Thank you for this glorious honor. The ritual was underway. Benimaru is usually a pretty friendly guy, but in front of his soldiers, he's a high-ranking officer of the Corps. He's perfect at separating public and private affairs like that. I had just granted him the title of Flare Lord. I meant that as kind of a stand-in for Demon Lord, just in case he actually did become a true Demon Lord like me. The flare part was meant to indicate intensity. He may seem to keep his cool now, despite his more short-tempered past, but he's still got that flame burning deep down as his essence. It's just that he's able to control it, bring it down to a casual campfire, if needed. As a sort of Demon Lord in my service, I couldn't think of a more appropriate title. Question. Do you wish to use the prescribed amount of 100,000 souls to evolve the subject Benimaru? Yes. No. That's a yes. As soon as I gave the word, a soul corridor was created between Benimaru and me, not the thin, wire-like link from before, but a solid, hefty industrial cable of sorts. Through it, 100,000 souls coursed over to Benimaru, and with them, the evolution began. Or didn't. Nothing happened. Oh, great. Did I mess this up? I wondered for a moment before a thoughtful-looking Benimaru spoke to me. It would appear one more condition needs to be fulfilled. How so? Oh, not you, Sir Rimuru. The problem seems to be on my end. He sounded oddly hesitant. Something's weird. What kind of problem? I asked in a whisper. The answer came like a ton of bricks. Well, actually, I heard the voice of the world just now, and it told me that I can evolve from an Oni to a god ogre, but if I do, I wouldn't be able to father any children. As Benimaru put it, becoming a god ogre meant having a de facto infinite lifespan, so there was no need to have offspring at that point. Which, I guess is true. The Oni race is pretty long-lived as it is, so if we're talking the next level after that, I suppose having no natural lifespan at all is logical. God ogres must be a kind of spiritual life form, then. It doesn't sound like demons have children, either, so I suppose that's what happens if your natural life suddenly stretches on forever. You can come back from the dead anytime you want, so it's not like you have to worry about preserving the species. Okay, so what's the problem with that? Sadly for me, I'm in the same boat. I can't have any children. Not that it's much of a problem or inconvenience for me, but... well, it seems I have some lingering desires from back when I was still a mere ogre. I had forgotten all about it, but apparently I need to finish up my duty as the chief of our tribe. And does that duty mean you have to have kids, or else you can't evolve? Yes. I sort of have to make sure there's a generation after mine. Benimaru and I exchanged stares. We were right in the middle of this celebration, you know. Couldn't this wait until later? To the audience, I must have looked like I was congratulating Benimaru. But if I didn't do something fast, everyone was gonna realize there was a problem. I gave him another look, panicking a little. Then Benimaru awkwardly turned away. That was a rarity for him. He's usually so fearless. It was quite moving to see, in a sense. Well, Benimaru, you need to figure this out, okay? No, but... right, I said, raising my voice as I ignored Benimaru's attempt at an excuse. So you want to get married as your reward? Who did you want to get married to? Whoa, Sir Rimuru. At times like these, it was best to show off my more manly side. I was treating this as if it were someone else's problem. With all the arrangements I'd made for this day, Benimaru just needed to firm up his resolve and get over himself. It was a rough way of doing it, but it was a must for handling someone as reluctant as he was. Report. This behavior might lead to him strangling you. Raphael wasn't giving me many answers. I mean, come on, it's fine, isn't it? As I told myself that, the coliseum erupted in cheers. I suppose the audience picked up on my voice enough to know what I was saying. So you finally made up your mind, have you? Shuna chuckled. Well, Hikuro asked, hand on sword. Who are you going to choose as your bride? Before Benimaru could begin to answer the question, Momiji stood up along with Alvis in her VIP box. Sir Rimuru. Permission to speak, please. And for me as well, I hope. I have the same request as Lady Momiji. The emotional force from them both was palpable. I was starting to think this was getting out of hand. Okay. Will you two come over here for me, please? We were in the middle of this event, but there was no helping that now. The soldiers in the seats were now witnesses to an entirely different kind of ceremony. Nobody was complaining. In fact, if I interrupted this right now, they'd probably all howl about it. So I let the two women say their piece. My lord, I would like to ask for permission to marry Sir Benimaru as a reward for his services. Momiji was the first to speak, and she was certainly swinging for the fences. Takuro wasn't far behind her. Sir Rimuru, a reward is something that must be given by someone else. It's not polite to simply ask for one. However, with that in mind, I hope you do my daughter a favor and grant her request. He was willing, as he explained to me, to give up his own military decoration if it'd help Momiji realize her dreams. This was an arrangement far too difficult for me to refuse by this point. Benimaru was frozen in place, unable to keep up with us. He's normally a man of very good judgment, but I got the feeling he was having trouble thinking straight. Then someone else spoke up to make things even more confusing. Rimuru, my lord, please allow me to state my candidacy for the position of Sir Benimaru's second wife. What? Benimaru and I both exclaimed at Alvis's offer. She and Momiji were in a heated battle over Benimaru, that much was for certain. Love on the battlefield, as it was famously referred to around Tempest, but since when had they come to this kind of truce over it? Okay, so. Momiji would be his first wife and Alvis, you'll be the second. Yes, my lord. That is correct. Their faces couldn't have looked happier. Benimaru, meanwhile, was about ready to faint. I wasn't really sure what happened with these two women, but it seemed they'd established a clear pecking order.